Ciao a tutti, mi chiamo Lex, questo è una ananas e queste purtroppo sono le uniche parole che so in italiano. Quindi mi scuso. Quindi mi scuso se continuerò il mio discorso in inglese. I want to tell you about the day that somebody gave me a pineapple and it turned out to be a life-changing event. This is what happened. It was just a day like any other, and I was alone at my houseboat in the Amstel. That's the river running through Amsterdam, the city where I'm from. And I think I was sitting on my couch watching TV, and then she came home, my girlfriend. We were both in the end of our 20s, together for 6 years, and she came back from shopping at IKEA, and she bought me something, a gift. And while she was hiding it behind her back, she had this mysterious smile. So I came up from the couch and I said, "What is it?" And a few seconds later, I was holding a plant, a pineapple plant. And I don't know if you've ever seen one, but a pineapple plant is something amazing. It looks a bit like an aloe vera, but there's a stick coming out, and on top of the stick, there's a pineapple balancing, really small, really cute. So thank you, I said to my girlfriend. And I really didn't know what to do with it. It was not like I had any specific interest in plants or in fruits. And I think it was the first time that I noticed how a pineapple actually grows. However, the pineapple plant that I was holding was about to take over my life for years. It would bring me all over the world. But let me get back to the girlfriend first. Or I should say ex-girlfriend, because not long after she gave me the pineapple, she broke up with me and she moved with a new boyfriend to Berlin. And there I was, heartbroken, sad, confused, and all that I had left was my pineapple plant. What was this wonder of a plant with a crown and a beautiful skin? And I just couldn't stop staring at it. It was also, I had nothing else with my life to do now she was gone. Although there's one more thing that you should know. I was a beginning journalist at that point in my life. I just landed a small freelance job at a major newspaper in the Netherlands. And my job was writing short news updates for the website. But I had the ambition to write longer stories, do my own investigations. But I had trouble finding a subject to write about. There were so many journalists working there that pretty much every topic seemed to be covered. Except nobody was writing about that one thing that got my attention, the pineapple. Because whenever I felt sad, I was still staring at my pineapple plant at home. And I just started to wonder about that fruit. So I did what I do best as a journalist, asking questions and trying to find answers. My first discovery, let's not call it a scoop, it involved the mysterious number on the tags of the pineapple that I found in my supermarket. Usually there was a 7, sometimes a 6, and once I found a 9. So I asked my manager of the fruit department in the grocery store, what does that number mean? And he said, yeah, it's actually quite
simple. A 6 is a large pineapple because it means that only 6 of these pineapples fill a box. And pineapples
size 9 are small because there fit 9 pineapples in one box. And I know it sounds stupid, it's such a little fact, but it was so satisfying for me to find out. Actually, for the first time since the breakup, it sparkled some joy in my life. And then the questions about the pineapple and the industry behind it just kept popping up. For example, I found out that the most fresh pineapples in Europe come from Costa Rica in South America. And a pineapple takes over a year to grow. So how is it possible that you can buy a fruit that made such a long journey across the globe for €2 and sometimes even cheaper? Another question, why did they promote these pineapples as extra sweet pineapple? Was there also a less sweet pineapple? And then things got out of hand quickly. I read a newspaper article online in the Bangkok Post in Thailand, and it stated that pineapple farmers were dumping their fruit on the highway as a protest against the low prices they were getting. And I thought, oh, well, there's a story if I take the pineapple serious. So I jumped on an airplane, went to Thailand to find out what's going on. And it was so much fun, and it was really the start of a journey that took me across the world, full with meeting great people and learning about pineapple stories. And in the years that followed, I would meet pineapple farmers in China, Hawaii, Ghana, Costa Rica, to name a few of the places. And I took a deep dive into the history of the pineapple. I even spent a few days sleeping in an 18th century castle in Scotland, the pineapple castle. And I tracked down a Greek man who immigrated to Canada, who claimed that he was the first person to put chunks of pineapple on pizza, inventing the pizza Hawaii. And no, he wasn't sorry about it, I asked him. So I was still working at a newspaper, but in my free time I was chasing pineapple stories. Because whenever I found an answer to one pineapple question, it was always leading to a new pineapple question. For example, that extra sweet pineapple that you buy in stores. I found out it was officially called the MD2 pineapple, and it was invented in a place called the Pineapple Research Institute in Hawaii in 1973. And when this pineapple was introduced in the market, it turned the whole industry upside down. It was marketed so well, and this pineapple became such a big hit that after the years, in the introduction in the early 90s, the worldwide consumption of pineapple doubled. So I went out on a mission to find the guy who was responsible for this pineapple, the inventor at the Research Institute. Finally, I found him in a small town in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, the United States. And he was already far in his 80s, and he told me his life story. It was very interesting, and we talked for hours and hours. And at the end, he said, do you know what the strange thing is? That MD2 pineapple, it became such a big hit, but it's not the best pineapple. He liked all the varieties as a smooth Kien, much better. So I went looking for that old variety, and I found them in Africa. There were still some people growing them there. And as I told you, things got out of hand. So at one point, I even imported my own pineapples to the Netherlands out of Tanzania, because the smooth Kien is really much better pineapple. However, I'm a better journalist than a businessman, so that never really worked. But years passed by, and with every new adventure, the memory of my ex-girlfriend faded. And at one point, I was just over her. It took some time, but I realized that my broken heart was fixed. And that pineapple plant turned out to be a great goodbye gift. Because in all the moments that I was sad, that pineapple plant, or the curiosity that it triggered, was like a lightning rod for my sadness. It helped me moving forward with my life while chasing pineapple stories. And there was so much to tell about that I finally wrote a book about it. And I think if she came back home that day from IKEA with another gift, a spoon, a mirror, a pack of oat milk, I might have written a book about that. Because what I figured out in all those years is that behind all those everyday subjects, there's an industry behind it, with thousands of people working there. And if you find those people and take time to talk to them, you hear so many wonderful stories, and you learn so much about the way the world works. So when my book got published, I really didn't expect too much about it, because seriously, who reads a book about pineapple? But it became a little success in the Netherlands and recently got translated into Italian. And for me, that's the proof that with every subject, it doesn't matter how small it is, you can find a story behind it that's worth telling, and people will listen. And there's one more thing the pineapple did for me. It was just a day like any other day, and I was on my way to a birthday party of a friend. And I forgot to buy him a gift, so I grabbed a pineapple from my kitchen counter so I wouldn't arrive empty-handed. And then I walked into a bar with a pineapple in my hand, and then a girl came up to me. She had beautiful brown eyes, a beautiful smile, and she asked me why you're holding a pineapple. And that was the start that I met her, and we started dating, got 3 kids, and we will get married later this year, with thanks to the pineapple. Thank you.